morning, guys. I'm going to wait about a minute or so, then we'll get started. Let things, people join up if they want to. Enjoy our nice drive here north of Burgaw, North Carolina. About 30 more seconds, guys. Good morning, guys. I am heading out to do an install in Hampstead, North Carolina. Me and my brother are working together today. The same as it always has been. Me and brother. But, been a lot going on. Tonight we have a video coming up on the Pro channel of a Trane TWB heat pump service call. And there's quite a few things wrong with that Trane. It's one of the ones at the apartment buildings where I service, so you'll recognize the units because they are all basically the same, except for some of them are 1.5 tons, some of them are 2 tons. I don't remember which one this is. I think it's 1.5 tons, but there's a few things wrong with it, so you stay tuned and see that on the Pro channel tonight at 8 p.m. The next week, I do believe on Monday, I'm going to have a blog on the Pro channel about business and about starting business and some of the false, reasonings and misconceptions there are about starting your own business. I know that there's somewhat of the grass is always greener when you're employed by somebody, thinking about going to work for somebody, and you get a false perception of what's it going to be like, So you can watch that on Monday, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that and sort of give you a little insight, maybe prepare people for starting their own business, sort of give them a little bit of a reality check. And there probably isn't enough stuff in that one video. You probably talk for an hour about that, and maybe we'll talk about it again. Like I said, I'm off to, if you see behind me, there's an air handler. It's a Rheem 3.5 ton RP14 split system. Gonna install that at Hampstead today. Tomorrow I might start my preventive maintenances because they go April, May, June, and I have a few people that signed up for April. So, in fact, most of them signed up for April or May. I might start those tomorrow, depending on how this job goes today, if I don't have to finish it tomorrow morning. Very nice outside. It's like going to be 60-something today. It's a really nice day. It was 40 this morning, so perfect day for working. Because I'll be up in the attic for part of the day anyway, so it's nice to be cool. Because if it's 68 outside, it's like 88 in the attic for some reason, depending on what kind of attic you're in. There's been a lot of discussion around, the Facebook groups last night were pretty excited, evidently. Not mine. Mine's not exciting. The Talent 75 Pro group is docile. We only sit there and learn, and there's no excitement. But a lot of people are talking about 407C still, and a lot of people were talking about brands. Now, I'm going to skip the brands thing because that's just crap. Just pick whatever you want to sell and, be happy with it, It seems like with the brands discussion, if someone aligns themselves with a particular brand and they want to just adhere to that brand and see no argument whether or not another brand can have a strong point compared to your brand, who cares? Just sell whatever you want. I've sold plenty of brands. I got Rheem in the back of the truck here, and prior to this, I haven't installed a Rheem or helped install a Rheem in probably almost 20 years, which is fine. But they're compact, and the air handlers are more compact, so that's why I'm trying them. They're very attractive units. I see I'm getting a text from my brother right now. It's always great when I get a text from my brother when I'm on the way to the job, because that probably means he's got to go somewhere else. So I can't wait till this vlog is over and I get to check that. But the 407C discussion, to me, that's an interesting one. Because the discussion goes that you install install 407C with POE oil on top of the mineral oil, will it work? Can you do that? And that's the discussion. And the main issue with the discussion is this is sort of an innovation created by Jim Pedinato, and I've adopted it as well because I thought it was a great idea. And guys like John Israel have adopted it. Greg Fox has done it as well. But this is something the guys in the field created. So there's not going to be much documentation supporting what we're doing. And that's a problem, because the guys are like, well, this says this, this says this, this says this, and that's fine. I found documentation and representatives from refrigerant companies over the years say about 50 different things. From you can add POE oil to mineral oil whenever you're doing drop-ins like MO99, 422D, B, any of those, to assist with oil return. They say just add a few ounces to the existing charge, and that was sanctioned by guys like from Honeywell that were doing talks at the supply house, and you just ask them in passing, would it work? And that's what they would suggest. So that tells me a couple different things. The oils will definitely mix together just fine. And a lot of guys have said this, but this is sort of getting to the where's the proof. Guys that work for these companies, refrigerant companies, said that this would work. So the two oils can go together. All right, we got that part. 407C requires POE oil, but other drop-in refrigerants work. If you go to the refrigerant page, it says for best with POE oil. So basically, sorting out what's true and what's bullshit is the biggest problem. Can you use POE on top of mineral with 407C? And I've been doing it for a year. Jim's been doing it for several years, and he has also been doing it with 407F, lower temperature refrigeration. I'm doing it with home cooling, high temperature. And he's doing it with lower temperature. We've had guys like Diesel, and Diesel, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, because I can see there's some guys out there that talk, and you're like, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. But when Heavy Diesel talks, I can see that he knows what he's doing. So I value his opinion, and I'm always glad when he interjects his opinion, because I know we're going to learn something. And he said there is some concerns with mineral oil without R22 at low temperatures, congealing, and he offered up to say that you should try to put some in your freezer and leave it there for a while. Now the question I have then is, I know Jim has tried 407F in the same manner that I do 407C, which is put the mineral oil, or put the POE on top of the mineral oil. I don't remember if those are, I guess those are refrigerators, not freezers. And I don't know, and maybe Heavy Diesel, John, you can help us out with this. Are you referring to freezers, refrigerators, or all low temperature refrigeration? That would be a good thing to sort of talk about. Now, another thing that we talked about, and I hit on this on the blog the other day, on the Saturday blog, fractionation of refrigerant. 407C fractionates much worse than comparable refrigerants like 410A, and R22 is a singular refrigerant, so it doesn't fractionate at all. If you lose a little bit of 407C and you recharge it, I think that you'll probably be fine as long as you don't do that in a repeated fashion. But if you lose like half the charge or 3/4 of the charge of 407C, you would probably be best served by replacing the charge. And it just makes sense, because obviously you have to do some sort of repair anyway. So, but I think there's a lot of back and forth, and it got pretty heated from what I understand, because I didn't get to see it firsthand with what was going on. And the biggest problem with this 407C thing is it was pioneered by guys in the field. So you're not going to see a whole bunch of documents come out saying, hey, you know what, these guys on YouTube try this and it works, so we say it's okay. That's not going to happen. It's going to say you need to stick to this guideline, and this guideline. The problem is that whether you accept it or not, if you work for somebody else, you're not going to be able to do this. And the reason why is you're not going to be able to take chances and do things like that. I'm in business for myself. If I take a chance and it doesn't work out, and by taking a chance, I'm not saying something that's like a 50-50 shot is not going to work. I think this process works. I don't see any reason why it doesn't work. If for some reason it did not work, Because saying it will definitely work and has no chance of not working, that's just foolish. But if something came to my attention that I didn't know about, or I overlooked and the process failed and I lost a compressor, I would just buy them a compressor. But a lot of guys just can't do that. A lot of guys just can't go, well, it didn't work. It was probably something else, you know. You have to be prepared if something doesn't work. And it goes with every single repair. Because you go out there and quote repairs, it's like, I think this is the issue. You have a TXV problem and the reversing valve stuck in the center, and we need to replace them both. And you do, and something else is wrong. It happens. Now, I think the process works, and so far it has worked for me. I haven't had any issues with it at all. I mean, 0 issues. If I do have an issue with it, you guys will know about it, because I will let you know. And remember, when you're adopting practices like these that are undocumented, and you just have guys pioneering it in the field, you have to think about that. Is this something that I want to do? Is this something that fits my company? And if you work for somebody else, it's pretty much out of the question anyway. Whatever company policy you're currently using is what you have to do. Well, I think that's what people need to think about. And having the argument about 407C is fine, but every process and every pioneering process starts with some guys that are willing to take a chance and do something. That's what guys on YouTube have done. They've thought about it, they've designed this process, and so far it works. But that's for each person to decide whether they want to do. And I suggest they think about that and decide if it's best for them. I've decided it is, and it works for me, and I think I've had great success with it. So, you guys, I'm about to stop and get something to eat. I head to the job. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Same Scooby time, same Scooby place. Wait a second. There's Food Lion. I'm not going to Food Lion. I'm just stopping here for a second.